welcome.
Vehicle.
Bianca's Blue, welcome, or whatever he says, to a brand new episode of the Grace Taproom Podcast. I am your co-host, Mike, and joining me, as always, is my wife and other fellow co-host, Trash Can. You have a loop
Oh.
in your
In my hair?
You look like a fucking who.
I'm Cindy Lou Blank.
Yes. Cindy Blank who.
I'm not a robot.
The trash blank? The blank can?
I like that.
Trash can blanky?
No.
I don't
I
know.
don't like that.
You have blood on your hands.
It's more like ink.
Oh, you have ink on your hands. Are we knocking out quotes
Yeah.
at the start?
Smashy Eggman.
Smashy.
So for those of you listening and you haven't realized it yet, but this is our favorite. Well, at least my favorite.
Yes.
Out of the three. It's constant laughs. Like some parts are kind of but it's 75% laughs.
I think it's more than that. More than that.
And it's super fucking quotable.
It's incredibly quotable.
Which we quote all the time.
And for those of you that follow us on the Twitter, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we will be partaking of a liquid repast as we wind our way up the Golden Mile, commencing with an inaugural tankard in the first post, then on to the old familiar, the famous caulk, the cross hens, the good companion, the trusty servant, the two-headed dog, the mermaid, the beehive, the king's head, the hole in the wall, and for a measure of the same, all before that last bittersweet pint in the most fateful terminus, the Grace Taproom Podcast. Leave a light on, good lady, for though we may return with a twinkle in our eyes, we will be, in truth, blind, drunk. So let's punch our wedding rings out of a robot's tummy, fire up the beast, as we take a deep dive into 2013's The World's End. Let's boo-boo!
Just what is it that you want to do?
Well, we want to be free. We want to be free to do what we want to do. And we want to get loaded. And we want to have a good time. And that's what we're going to do.
What'd you think of that?
That was
a mouthful.
That was a mouthful. That
Yeah.
was a good job, though.
I tried to say it.
You
with-
went from your voice to a British accent
did.
slightly, and then back to your voice, but no.
And then I tried to say "Let's boo boo" the way that Gary King does.
boo-boo!
Let's boo boo.
Let's boo-boo! Favorite
Holy
of
shit!
the fucking trilogy.
is.
Favorite. I don't care. Fight me.
Top 3 drinking movie.
Oh, my God. Not even a drinking movie. Ooh, we should find the drinking game. Or we should make one.
Is there a drinking game to this?
Probably. There's a drinking game for everything.
You said that weird.
I burped.
I know. It sounded weird the way you said it.
Yeah. Yeah, but no. I would love to find the drinking game, and if there isn't one, we should make one. Because we do really well with drinking games.
Minute.
Ooh. Also, for those of you listening, we're about half a 12er in.
This will be 5.
Okay. This is 6 for me. But we've been drinking since we started World's End. One last watch go round before we started recording because I wanted to laugh again.
Yeah.
I really did because that is so funny. But it's really hard to watch it with 2 10-year-olds.
King Gay. Oh, that's one of the best.
Fucking Peter.
Peter.
But it was really hard, though, to watch with 2 10-year-olds.
Yeah.
Especially one who doesn't understand the British humor as Gunnar does.
Right.
And Gunnar is, like, quoting it, and he looks at Gunnar, and he's like, what?
Yeah.
It was kind of cool, though, to introduce him to it. So maybe he'll, like, continue watching it because of this.
For sure. For sure. Man. This
movie.
It's real quick. I wanna thank everyone for making Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz episodes top 2 of the month. Coming in 1 and 2.
Let's make this one number 1.
I really feel good about it.
Oh yeah.
But we'll see.
This one's this one's probably going to be my favorite.
I think
Not just because of the movie, just
Yeah.
because. So those of you listening, we recorded Shaun of the Dead, and it was fucking brilliant. Like
Mhm.
we did really good on it, and
The
it
second
felt
time.
good. The second time, we were super pissed off because we did lose the audio. We
Well,
only recorded like 18
we lost.
minutes.
We had the first 20 minutes
yes,
of it, and
yeah,
something
it was
happened.
like 21 minutes and some change,
Yeah,
and it was aggravating. I
yeah.
don't know what happened because
We
I
were
thought it downloaded.
tired on a Sunday and had to redo an entire episode, and it ended up it's number 1 on the month.
Okay.
So that's
Like you
It
could
worked
hear
out.
you could hear it in our voices though
yeah,
that we were just fucking pissed off. Like
was
just
a-
get it fucking done and over. This is Sunday.
a
It
Sunday
was a
afternoon.
Sunday at like 2 in the afternoon.
Yep.
When we thought it was going to be a clean edit, and
I
it was
was-
just
And I was in the middle of editing. Yeah,
Mhm.
and I went, babe,
it's only
Look,
20 minutes long, and I went,
where's
no,
the
no,
rest
no,
of the
no,
episode?
no, no.
So we had to dig through my computer to try to find it, and
There was nothing. There
Nope.
was nothing. Nothing
No.
was saved. We need to make sure that we save it at least 4 times.
oh my god, that's the last thing my computer needs.
I know. And then Hot Fuzz, of course, was a one shot because of AJ,
Yeah,
aka the Stoned,
yeah,
joined us, and that was
that
brilliant.
was super fun.
That was really fun.
Yeah,
I love hanging out.
it was a hot fuzzy time,
the
and he did it all for the greater good.
greater good. And now we are at the world's end.
Yep.
God, I love this movie so much.
Yeah, me too. It's so good.
I'm gonna go ahead and do the Cornetto Trilogy fun facts real quick.
Go for it.
So in Shaun
Well,
of the Dead.
Before you do,
Mhm.
who's in this movie? Let's do the cast.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you got to give me like 2 seconds because I got to get there.
Bum, tsh, bum,
Oh
tsh,
no,
bum,
not that one.
ba-da, bum, bum.
No, that's Shaun of the Dead. You
I
can't do that.
know.
You cannot do that. That is Shaun of the Dead. Why am I in quotes? Oh no.
Oh no.
Let's go. No.
Oh no, I hope I don't fall.
Oh no. All right. So the top cast is they have the young Gary first. They have all the youngs first. Oh no,
Yeah.
I like that. Gary fucking King is Simon Pegg. Nick Frost plays Andy Knightley. Martin Freeman, Oliver Chamberlain. Oh man. Patty Considine, Stephen Prince. Eddie Marsan as Peter Page. And hold on. Yeah, I think that was 4, 5. That was all 5. Those are at least the main
cast.
Yeah. No, IMDb has it very strange. Like they have the young Gary, young Andy, the young Stephen, the young Peter, the young Oliver, and then they have Becky, Erica, Tracy, the marmalade sandwich.
Did you acknowledge Rosamund Pike? Sam?
Sam.
Sam's here?
No, Sam's here.
Is there
No,
a
she's
fucking echo?
she is actually not on there until like if you go to the IMDb page, she's not on there until like halfway down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they have like the bartenders and the robot kids listed before her, which is really fucking sad.
Yeah, she's one of the main characters.
She's
One
well,
of.
she's like a subber
Yeah.
ish. So anyway, Act 1. Opening montage.
Mm-hmm.
A nostalgic montage showcasing the teenage years of Gary King, played by Simon Pegg, and his friends. Which I love the way that they did the opening montage because it kind of showed you it showed you what he wanted and
Yeah.
what the movie was going to be about or
Mhm.
what it should have been about before all hell breaks loose.
Yeah. You get like the flashback but it's Simon Pegg narrating, telling the story of that night
Right.
in the summer of 1990.
And we've all had those. You know?
Yeah.
We've all had those kind of, if I can go back to this night, what would it have been like, and could I recreate this again?
Yeah.
There's a couple of those nights that I could be like, man, if I could recreate that now, that would be so fucking great.
I think
I mean, at
from
least one.
like a fresh out of high school night. I feel like I might be able. I could come up with a couple.
Yeah. I think mine, I mean, most of mine are in college because we all know that I was homeschooled and couldn't do shit
Right.
while I was living at home. And then I got to college and it was fun.
Yeah.
You know,
College
go to
for you
parties
was
and
high
shit.
school for normal people.
Right, exactly, because I'm not normal people.
Well, at the time.
At the time, yes. But no, I could picture a couple of days or, you know, weekends that I would love to replay again, which is honestly what I think Gary King was trying to do. He was
Yeah.
just trying to recreate the nostalgia of this was fun. This, you know, we had a good time. It was just the boys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which yeah. So the remainder of Act 1, Gary's life now. Gary is now a middle-aged man struggling with addiction and nostalgia for his past.
Which honestly
That's-
though, if you're a millennial right now, who the fuck isn't?
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Who isn't? Honestly, the world's end is what the millennials need now.
We're the millennials.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're almost middle-aged or getting there, and nostalgia is what's keeping us going. Like this fuels us. This feeds us.
Yeah.
Nostalgia, like, oh, this was awesome, let's bring it back. I mean, they have brought back some stuff, but I can honestly, from my standpoint, even though this was 10 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
I could see where it plays.
Yeah.
It tracks.
Right. Well, I'm going to do the rest of Act 1, and then we can just go through all of that.
Mhm.
Gary reunites with his old friends, Peter, Stephen, Oliver, and Andy. Gary convinces his friends to complete the Golden Mile pub crawl that they failed to finish in their youth. The group returns to their hometown, Newton Haven, and begin the pub crawl.
Which we do kind of have a pub crawl here.
Yeah. Oh, the Bambi Walk.
The Bambi
Do
Walk.
people still do that?
I haven't heard of the Bambi Walk in like 5 years.
I haven't heard of it in probably 15.
Well, one of my old coworkers, she mentioned that one of our manager's son turned 21, and
Yeah.
she's like, I'm taking him to do the Bambi Walk. If you want to go, let's go, but I'm taking him. So they did do the Bambi Walk. I think they only got like 5 or 6 bars in. So for those of you listening, we have a crawl called the Bambi Walk, and you start at one bar at the beginning of Bardstown Road.
There's a lot of bars out
It's
there.
21.
Yeah.
It's 21 bars.
That's a lot.
Every bar you go to, you tell them that you're doing the Bambi Walk,
Yeah.
and they make you either a specific drink, like geared towards that bar. They could give you water.
See,
They
I
could
was
give you
I was
Coke.
told different.
Okay.
You have to do one beer and one shot
Mm-mm.
at each bar.
No, you'll
Okay.
die. You'd die.
Yeah.
You'd fucking die. No.
Oh,
no,
for sure.
No.
But
it's-
that's what everyone always told me.
yeah,
That's
no,
what
it's
it was.
not. I would like to try the Bambi Walk. Honestly,
Not now. I wouldn't.
I would
No.
absolutely.
I know what I can and can't do.
Now,
That ain't it.
when after I turned 21 is when I found this out. But the Bambi Walk
Same.
here is when you go to the bar, you say, "Hey, I'm doing the Bambi Walk," and they make you a drink.
Mm-hmm.
Whether, like I said, it's water, Coke, ginger ale, soda, whatever, you have to drink it. And then
Yeah.
you move on to the next bar. The very last bar at the end of Bardstown Road is the Bambi bar.
Yeah.
That's where you end it.
Which bar is it? Do you remember?
The Bambi bar?
Yeah.
It's called the Bambi bar.
Oh,
it's
is it?
Bambi bar.
Oh, okay. I never
'Cause
knew
it-
that.
Yeah, it's the finale.
I don't
like-
think I've ever even heard of that bar.
Bambi bar?
I don't know the bar names around here though.
It's like
I know LIP. That's it.
it's towards Lexington Road, like where Diamonds is.
Oh, okay.
It's close to that area of Bardstown Road. So you start
Towards the back end of it.
so you
Okay.
start at like Eastern Parkway.
Right.
Like those are the bars you start at, and there are specific bars that you go to.
Okay.
You can't just walk into like
You can't just pick one and.
Right. You have
There's
to.
an order.
There's specific. Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. I've known
Exactly.
3 people who have completed it.
Okay.
But if you have a good bartender who
I don't know anyone who's even attempted it.
Oh, I've known a lot of people who've attempted it. If you like, hopefully you can get a good bartender, at least every other one, who's like, drink of water, you deserve this. Then you're in the gold. But if you get a bartender at every bar going, you're gonna drink a, oh God, if anybody gave me an adios motherfucker, I'd be shit.
R.I.P. Buckner.
Oh, to Buckner.
He's a blank now.
So for those of you listening, an adios motherfucker is almost like a Windex, but it has.
I don't know what that is either.
Okay, so a Windex is a you take one shot of every or half a shot, so half an ounce of every clear liquor that you have behind the bar, and then you do a splash of blue curacao, and that's a Windex. Like, it fucks you up. Mike should know this. He had 2, 3 that one night. 2. And you can't just sip it because it burns.
It's just the one Windex, actually.
It burns, so you have to
It sucks.
you have to chug it.
Yeah, you
because
have to.
it burns so bad.
It's got some fire in it.
Adios motherfucker, legally in the great state of Kentucky, in the city of Louisville, you are only legally allowed to drink 2 by law.
Yeah.
After that, they stop serving.
Yeah.
We do know a gentleman who has drank 3 or 4. I think it was 4.
Something
Buckner.
like that. Yeah. I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
So that was his favorite drink.
Yeah.
And he could do 4 before he was cut off.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Back to the world's end.
Returning to Newton Haven. I mean, it seems like a quaint old town.
A what?
Quaint old town.
Oh, yeah. Duh.
So quaint.
It's a nice looking town.
It's adorable.
It really is. Even though Newton Haven's not a real place.
No.
I want to know. I don't remember the name of the town that they
shot it in.
That it was shot in. Yeah.
Yeah.
But whatever it is, it's a nice place. I could live there.
So, in Act 1,
mm-hmm.
as he is trying to
do the
recruiting the band, getting the band back together,
starts off at Peter's house in Bishop's Gardens.
Well, he's
hiding out in his front yard.
Bishop's Garden.
He's hiding in the driveway.
He is, and then he ends up at the car dealership where he's a salesman.
Yes.
He was like, "Were you near my house today?" He's like, "No, I've never been to Bishop's Garden." What? And one of my favorite lines is, "Your wife?" He goes, "Yeah, Vanessa," and he goes, "Yeah, her." And he's like, "So how's it going?" He's like, "How often or have you had sex yet?" And he goes, "I have 2 kids." And he goes, "Oh, twice."
Look at you, fuck machine.
Look at you, fuck machine. And like jumps on top of him and he's like, ah.
And then Peter's dad walks up.
Yeah, and he gets so mad at Gary.
Yeah, he remembers.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell, you can see it like in his eyes that he remembers Gary.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Gary does not give a fuck.
No, Gary honestly, this entire movie, he doesn't care. He's just in it for himself. He's in it to win it.
Yeah.
And then when he goes to
he goes to meet Stephen.
Is it Stephen next?
It's Stephen.
Oh yeah, and he goes, I always wanted to know what that was above the door. And he's like, "That's a lintel."
That's a lintel.
Which, remember, that's a lintel brings it to another part when we'll get there.
Yes, we'll get to it.
Because it's funny as shit.
And they're reminiscing a little. I like how they're reminiscing about when they
years with the band.
Yeah, when they had a band together.
And he's like, you sold my bass to
buy drugs.
To buy drugs.
Gary completely derails the conversation onto the next thing to like take his mind off of it.
Yeah.
Ask him what was it? Ask him about his wife. He's like, "We've been divorced for 10 years." I know that. I just wonder how she's doing because he wants to fuck her.
Oh, of course. That's a Gary move.
Then we find out Stephen is now in a relationship with a 26-year-old fitness instructor.
I mean, it's only 10 years younger than he is.
Right.
Maybe 12.
Yeah.
Because those guys are our age.
Well,
Ugh.
Steven, remember, he owns his own construction company,
Right.
so he's pretty well off.
Oh yeah,
And having money like that can probably score you
a 26-year-old.
a hot young 26-year-old chick.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
yeah.
Then he moves on to Oman.
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 Fucking Oman.
Oman.
Oliver.
Yep, Oliver. So Oman got his name because he had a birthmark that looked like a 6
Yeah, on his temple.
on his temple. And 666.
Yeah.
The Omen.
Mm-hmm.
So he's Oman.
Great movie.
It was. I like the way that they also incorporated the same characters from each movie
Yes.
into it, like regardless of how they're in it.
Well, yeah, because in Shaun of the Dead,
Yep.
Martin Freeman has a small cameo, not even a line of dialogue.
He's not in Hot Fuzz though,
Yes, he is.
is he?
Yeah, he's one of the.
Oh yeah, he's one of the constables, the police officers.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. Okay.
He's under the chief inspector.
That's right. The kid who plays the 17-year-old in Shaun of the Dead, the one who Ed sells drugs to,
Yes.
and then he is one of the Andys in Hot Fuzz, and now he's just shopping for a house, and
Yeah.
he's like, pretty sure Oman can cut you a deal, and he's like,
What's your
well,
budget?
What's your budget?
1.3
No, he goes, how much is the house?
1.3 million.
1.2
Or
million.
2 million. Fuck off.
He goes, fuck off. And then like they walk out, and Oliver is like,
he,
like I could have sold this if you would have shut the fuck up.
he almost had that sell on the
Almost.
house.
Almost.
Fuck off.
Fuck off.
What's your budget? 1.2 million. Fuck off.
It's not what's the budget, it's how
Or
much
the
is
house.
the
The
house.
house. Yeah. Sorry.
And so that's where we meet Oman.
Yep.
And then we move to Andy, which I
Oh.
like the way everybody leading up to Andy, they're like, oh, so is Andy going to be there?
Yeah, and he
And he
keeps
was like, oh,
convincing
yeah,
him.
yeah, Andy's totally going to be there. Totally
Yeah.
going to be there.
Andy's going drinking with you. Yeah.
Yeah, sure, let's go. Everything's cool. And then he gets there.
And Andy fucking hates him.
Yeah, he doesn't give two shits that he's there.
I was going to bring this up towards the end of the episode, but I kind of want to do it now.
Mhm.
How do we feel about let's look at the relationship between Simon Pegg and Nick Frost
Okay.
in Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead
Okay.
compared to
World's End.
this?
Okay.
Is it
So-
weird?
No, I think in of course Shaun of the Dead, their friendship is you're fresh out of high school into college, you got into the same college, you know, whether one of you got in or not, you're living together. That friendship is
See-
strong.
See, in Shaun of the Dead, I feel like that
Well, they did go to college together.
I
That was
feel like
mentioned.
the way they are with each other though kind of translates to me that they've been friends their whole life.
Well,
like
they
they were
mention-
childhood
He did
friends.
mention that though.
Okay,
is
so
that
yeah,
they
they
were
were friends like
Yeah.
as little kids. Like they've known each other their whole
for a
lives.
while. Yeah, but their friendship was super strong.
Yeah,
But then you go to Hot Fuzz to where they just meet for the first time.
total strangers.
Total strangers, but they become best friends.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Danny Butterman
Mm-hmm.
is a free spirit, happy go lucky kind of person.
He's got a child's mind.
Right. To where Nicholas Angel is more of a straight laced,
Right, hard on the nose. kinda guy.
right. And they kind of like merge, like meld with each other to where Nicholas Angel is teaching Danny Butterman how to be a police officer
Yeah.
and how to have more balls, as to where Danny is teaching Nicholas how to let go and have fun.
Yeah.
Things aren't super serious all the time.
Don't take life so serious.
Right. I think in The World's End, it really actually shows us the older you get, your friends that you have made, regardless of high school, college, late 20s.
Mhm.
In the later years,
You drift apart.
you do drift apart because, you know, you have family
Yeah.
that you have to take care of. Even if you don't have kids and a wife or a husband, that's still, you're an adult.
Yeah. And it's time to like grow up
you
and do
have
adult
to,
things.
Exactly. You have to grow up. to where Gary King in World's End, he doesn't want to let go of that.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly though, nobody really wants to let go of the youth.
It's hard to, but I think
Everybody has
the
a part of their youth.
yeah.
But when it comes to friendship, sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, I was gonna say, well, I think like, and this applies to all the guys
Right.
in World's End.
Yeah.
They have that,
Mhm.
but as the night progresses and the events and everything that takes place, they're sort of being like Gary has convinced them to like come back to that a
Let
little bit.
go.
Yeah.
Like let's go back and just let go of all of your
Mhm.
adulting.
Yeah.
Stop adulting. This is us.
It's okay to have fun,
Right.
like you did back in the day every
Right.
now and then. You don't have to
Exactly.
be serious adult
Right. He
Monday
wanted that.
morning all the
But
time.
that's what his life was though,
Right.
honestly.
Yeah.
And one of my longest running friendships has been since I was 11.
Yeah.
So it's gross. It's almost 30 years old. I mean, we're at 27 years right now.
Me and Nick.
Right. But you talk more with yours than I do mine.
Right.
So mine only comes around when they need something or, something reminds them of me,
Mm-hmm.
which is very seldom. But I think that, with Gary King and Andy Knightley, I can totally get it to where Andy is pissed because of what happened.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
I wouldn't judge him for not being angry because I would be angry, which you don't find out what happens until the third act. So one of my favorite lines from the first act is when Gary is talking to Andy
Yeah.
and Andy stands up and goes and shakes his hand.
He doesn't shake his hand.
No, he's shaking his hand
Oh, shaking
at the
his own
door.
hand. Oh, I thought you.
And Gary goes,
What are you doing?
I'm showing you out.
I'm showing you the door.
I'm showing you the door.
Yeah.
And he goes, it's not really a door, is it? Because there's no lintel.
Yeah. It's more of a window.
It's more of a window, but it's also a door.
Maybe.
So it's a window. Like, we use that all the time.
Oh,
All the time.
often.
Very often. At
Often.
least once a week.
Yeah.
To where it's a window.
It's a window. I'm showing you the.
I'm
Have you
showing
got to check with your missus? No, I don't have to check with my missus. What are you doing? I'm showing you the door. It's not really a
The
door,
door.
actually. It's more of a, it doesn't have a lintel. It's more of a window than it is a door. Maybe it's a window.
I love it. I love it. But we all have that one Gary King friend.
Yes.
I mean,
Or relative.
Or yes, in my instance, I should say
Yeah.
you married into it.
He's my Gary King too now. No, he's still my Lloyd Christmas. He's my Lloyd. He can be your Gary. He's my Lloyd.
Oh, he's totally my Gary.
He's
Jace.
my Lloyd, and I am his Harry.
Oh, Jace, I love you. So then we get they end up finally in Newton Haven. I like the way he's like, I've got to piss, and he takes his car off the side of the road and like cuts across 4 lanes of traffic and cuts off like 2
Yeah.
cars and a semi, and they're in like this little diner truck stop. He's like, did he have to take a shit? And he was like, no, he's over there playing a video game.
Need for Speed 2.
Yeah.
He goes, where is Gary? He's over there playing Need for Speed 2.
Yep.
And you see Gary like getting pissed at the game, and he
Mhm.
and he like slaps the screen
Mm-hmm.
because he didn't win.
Yep.
Oh man.
Then they get into the Airbnb or hotel or hostel or whatever.
Hang tight.
Uh-huh.
I want to circle back to when they're at the train station
Oh,
when
yeah.
Gary picks him up
Yeah.
and they get in the Beast, and then he's talking about it's more like the Four Musketeers actually.
5 Musketeers.
5 Musketeers. There's only 3 Musketeers. 4 if you count D'Artagnan. And then it's written by Alexander Dumas. Then the line of Gary's compares it to the Bible. He goes, "No, he wrote the Bible. Who? Alexander Dumas? No, no, Stephen. The Bible was written by Jesus." I don't remember the whole like back and forth, but of the Three Musketeers and
It
the
was
Bible,
Five Musketeers.
it's Three Musketeers, four if you count, and then Peter,
Pete comes in.
four if
"Oh,
you count
D'Artagnan."
D'Artagnan.
Pete seems such like a sweet guy.
He really does.
He's so adorable. His little smile and his laugh.
He's
and
the most innocent person
Oh,
in the world.
I want to protect him so much.
I protect and champion
Oh
Stephen
God,
so
yes, yes. Oliver, on the other hand, I would totally punch just for saying WTF every chance he got.
much.
WTF,
And
Gary.
we'll get to that point.
I know we will.
What the fuck does WTF mean?
Oh man. So ending of the first act before "Because We're Young," the song, and they're like walking down trying to get to the first pub. Pete pulls out a map from the hotel and he's
Yeah.
like pointing at it. He's like, "Do we need a map?" And Gary's like, I got one. And he's got
It's-
all of the bars marked on.
It's the same map that he had in June of 1990.
1990. Yes.
Oh my God. All right, you ready to go to Act 2?
Act 2.
Act 2, here we go. The group visits the first few pubs, reminiscing about old times and encountering familiar faces. They notice strange, robotic townspeople dubbed the Blanks, replacing the locals. Gary's friends discover his true intentions for the pub crawl to relive past glory and find closure. The group uncovers a sinister plot by an alien invasion force, the network controlling the town. The chaotic fight erupts in the pub with the group battling the Blanks.
The Blanks.
This is where everything for me really picks up.
This one is kind of for me like, yeah. I mean, the intro to Act 2 is kind of like it's the build up,
Yeah.
and the middle of Act 2 it just goes.
I love how the first two pubs that they visit are a carbon copy of each other.
Right, they have different colors.
They're
or
Starbucking us, man.
it's-
Everything is the exact same. You see like the chalk boards on the walls
yeah.
with like you got food specials and
Mhm.
drink specials, and no one's really in there.
Mhm.
And I like how when Gary walks into when they all walk into the first pub, Gary immediately thinks that like, oh, we're local legends. Everyone here knows us. We're celebrities.
Oh yeah.
And he introduces himself, and immediately the bartender David has no idea who the fuck any of them are, which is funny. And the beer they how he describes the Crown of Glory, the first beer
Oh yeah.
that they get,
Yeah.
and what does Andy get?
He goes, so Gary King is like, "We will have 5 of those, please." He goes, "Make that 4 and a tap water."
What? And then Gary is so pissed.
Oh yeah.
He's pretty much like talking shit
Oh yeah.
on Andy for drinking fucking rain.
Rain. It would be the same thing as if a lion decided to eat hummus.
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 Oh my God.
I'm trying to find it. I have it wrote down somewhere.
Which part is it?
What? Oh, when they're in the first bar.
Oh,
And Andy gets the tap water.
yeah.
But I do like the way that Andy describes it. He's like, "You want to know what takes courage?" He said, "Ordering a tap water after like a
at
football-
King Arthur's.
Yeah, where he's like a football game or a rugby match." He said, "Walking up to the bar when everybody else is drinking and you order a tap water, that takes courage."
Yeah. And then what was it? Gary compared it to King Arthur's army coming back to the castle from battle.
Yeah.
And what was the? Can I get a tap water, please?
Oh God.
I'll have a tap water.
On tap water. So then they go to the second. No, the second one isn't where they're thrown out. The second one is where they meet Sam,
Yes.
Oliver Oban's sister. and they're talking about, how they bumped uglies in the disableds. That was
Mhm.
out of order. Steven, you could already tell, is like, I've been in love with Sam since high school.
Yeah.
I've
Sam's here.
Sam's here. Is that in surround sound? He gets so mad, which, I mean, I get that because that's kind of what I grew up with in high school.
Is there a fucking echo?
Yep. Um, but that's how I grew up in high school. Is everybody was like, "Oh, Jace is here." I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, so I'm shit,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody wanted to sleep with my brother or date my brother.
Yeah.
Fuck me, then, I guess. Who the fuck is farting? Because I smell it too. Is it Brienne?
It's Brienne.
Are you sure?
It's coming from behind me.
Man, that is thick. Woo!
Now she's a soggy puppy.
Ugh.
But
I meant
she
her
just-
fart.
Apple of my pie.
Wait, what?
Title of your sex tape.
Okay. The second one is kind of like where you're getting an idea of things are going kind of weird-ish.
Yeah.
Sam's like, "Oh, the twins. I'm here to see the twins. It's kind of weird, but okay, cool. You're getting the backstory."
It's not the Shifty twins, though.
No.
We'll get to that one.
No, yeah, we will. But no, it's kind of like you're building up to the backstory of how they are still friends and how they're mad at Gary, but they're still there to support Gary, kind of ish, sorta.
They try to.
Um,
They really try to support Gary.
so we also find out in this Act 2 that Gary borrowed $600 from Peter
Mm-hmm.
to pay Andy back because he owes Andy quite a bit of money. And that was the only way that he could get Andy to go on this trip.
Yeah.
And we also find out that his quote unquote mom died, which everybody's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry about that," which sets up for the next couple of scenes. Then they go to the third bar. This is where it really goes down
Yeah.
because Pete's bully shows up
Mm-hmm.
and he asks for a seat and he just froze.
That's actually the fourth.
Is it the
Because-
fourth?
Yeah, remember the police officer?
Oh, the
And they
third
said-
bar. Ew, the third bar. Ew, the third.
Yeah.
The third bar is where he gets kicked out. Gary gets
Yeah.
kicked out because he's
Y'all
like,
banned.
"You're banned," and then
Yes.
kicks him out. And then he's like, "I gotta have a drink here," and he looks on the fucking porch table,
Yep.
the outside table, and there are 3 halves, like 3 beers halved of like beer that has been drank, and he
Mixes them all.
he picks up the glasses and just one by one.
Well, remember this, though. Think of it this way. The beers all still had foam in them,
Yes,
which is an indicator that they're okay.
decent sign. Mhm.
Also, most importantly, none of them had cigarette butts in them.
But honestly, though, with Gary, I could see Gary King doing that. Though I could see him chugging a beer with a cigarette
Just,
butt in
like,
it.
fish
Just
it out and
yeah,
throw it
I
out.
could see him doing it. I wish they would have done that because that would have proven how much of a shithead he really is.
Yeah, I 100% agree with
I
that.
really wish they would have put that in there
Yeah.
because, I mean, honestly, if there's like end of the night beer, it's super fresh, like it's still kind of
Mhm.
chilled. I mean, you would do it too.
Well, no, I wouldn't.
Well, I wouldn't either.
I would definitely not. No, if I see even an ash.
Going back to the beginning of Act 2, so we have had this discussion of like you could see like what's on tap, and we know that Foster's Australian beer is one of the bigger beers in England.
Yeah, it is.
Also, you have like Guinness and Budweiser and whatever, but Budweiser is England's version of Busch,
Mm-hmm.
or wait, Natty Ice for us.
Yeah.
Natty Ice will never be on tap.
Actually,
Is it on tap?
I know of several places
Oh.
where it's on tap.
So their beer that they are drinking is called the Crown and Glory. It's nutty, foamy, with a surprisingly fruity note which lingers on the tongue.
Nice. Have you ever had a beer that matches that description?
I don't think I want to. Because I don't know if I would like nutty and maybe a fruity note.
Do you think that almost kind of? No, it doesn't. No,
It just is a
no.
weird one.
I
It
was gonna.
sounds more like an IPA than anything.
I was gonna say it almost fits like maybe a really bad sour.
Oh no, I was gonna say that sounds like an IPA.
You think
That's
so?
maybe-
You think
yeah.
you think some IPAs have like fruity notes? Because
IPAs
they're gay.
ugh,
That's the
they're
fruity part about it.
fucking gross.
IP
They're-
gay.
Oh.
Gay.
Gay.
King gay.
Gay.
Oh my god. All right.
Oh my god. Like I mean I can't speak enough about this fucking shit. Like fuck. World's End is amazing. I don't see how people think that this is not the better of the trilogy. I am
Yeah.
laughing literally from like page 1 of the script.
Yeah.
You good?
I'm
Fantastic.
obviously. Obvious.
That was perfect.
A hiccup interrupted my Severus Snape impression. Obviously.
Obviously. Obviously.
That reminds me, one of my my favorite little details in
Mhm.
dialogue when they're trying to figure out, like, get a plan together for the blanks and figure out what to call them and what the plan is.
Right,
Well, not the plan, but like putting together their little conspiracy
Right.
theory.
right.
A couple of Peter and Andy
Andy.
both
yeah.
either have like a little hiccup mid talk,
Mm.
like mid sentence.
Or like when you pointed out that Gary was burping at the first bar after he chugged his beer
Yeah.
and he was talking to Andy
Uh huh.
and Andy was trying to describe to him of how much of a shit show he is
Right.
and he was just burp, burp, burp.
he threw in a few burps.
Oh, there was more than a few.
A
I didn't notice it until you mentioned
couple
something.
hiccups and here and there. I thought those were cool little like details and
Oh yeah.
drunken progression, I guess you could say.
Oh, 100%.
I really enjoyed that.
So one of the parts in bar, not 3 because they got kicked out of 3.
Yeah.
So for those of you listening, they were trying to drink 12 pints.
Mm-hmm.
A pint is 16 ounces.
Yes.
Our beers in America in cans are normally 12 ounces.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you do the math, and it's like a case of beer by the end,
Pretty much. Yeah.
for the most part. I'm trying to remember in bar 4. Bar 4 is when the real shit goes down. So where they are talking about wanting to go back, getting the bus line, they're wanting to leave because this is bullshit, because it's just Gary King trying to get the band back together and drink. I'm trying to remember how to. You know what? Pause, time out, go back to bar number 2. And I
Okay.
wanted to bring this up because I say this all the time because Gunnar loves to say it as well. Drink up, let's boo boo.
Yeah.
Where he goes, boo boo, what's that? You remember Let's Boo Boo, from Mr. Shepard's classroom.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Shepard was played by.
Pierce fucking Brosnan.
Exactly.
James goddamn Bond.
It's James Bond.
James
Um,
Bond.
It said, the wall, on the wall, exit pursued by a bear, from the Shakespeare play. A Winter's Tale. Yeah, what was it called? A Winter's Tale.
A Winter's
That's
Tale.
it. That's it. If we needed to make a quick getaway, we'd say exit pursued by a bear. And then it was exit pursued by Yogi. And then it was let's Yogi and Boo Boo. And then let's Boo Boo. So you're saying we should go? Yeah, shitty here, isn't it? So he was trying to leave number 2 to go to 3. They got kicked out of 3, went to 4, and 4 is when the shit goes down.
Yes.
They
All right.
finally open this fucking pit up.
Yeah. So they're I like okay. Real quick, I'm gonna bring up the spot the table that they have.
Yes.
Kind of off in the back. It's in
Yeah,
like a
but
corner
it's-
booth.
But it's still on a it's still up. It's lifted.
Yeah. They're all 5 of them are even Andy and Gary are they're cool, cordial with each other.
Well, this is where Andy and Pete are like, fuck this shit. Andy's like, I'm ready to go home. I'm tired of this shit.
Yeah.
This is the shit. I'm trying to find the quote real quick because I can't say it. Oh, here we go. Where Andy says, "You just wanted to chew the fat. You said you just wanted to chew the fat. I think you just wanted to drink it. We're not your friends. We're just your fucking enablers."
Gary. King.
Enablers. Huh, that's a funny word. Gary King and the Enablers. Actually, that would make a great band name. Steve, write that down.
Yeah. One of the and then they
Gary
they
King and
said
the
something and it kind of bummed Gary. Well, when they were talking about they wanted to go home.
Right, which bummed him
And-
out.
And
Get
it bummed Gary out, and
Right.
he brings up again the fact that his allegedly his mom had passed away from cancer,
Right, and he wanted to do this one
and
last
they're like,
hurrah.
"Oh, well,
and-
we're really sorry about that, Gary, but
Right.
dude, this is retarded."
But
We
if
need
you
to-"
listen though, you can hear his phone going off several times.
yeah,
It'll buzz like 3 or 4 times, stop, and then buzz again.
and it was his mom calling.
And then Andy was like, "I'm gonna catch the bus line back." Willie pulls his phone out and goes, "Haha, bus line's closed." Set it on the table, and he goes, "I'm
Uh-huh.
gonna go take a piss."
Yep.
And then he goes to take a piss,
And then
He-
you really hear the bzzz of the phone on
Right.
the table.
and everybody's like, "Well, I feel really bad for him because his mom died, and he's going
Yeah.
through shit. But I'm glad we're here." And Andy, played by Nick Frost, goes, "Don't be sorry for him." He was like, "Don't be."
Hmm.
Like he was mad.
He was pissed.
I would be too. I mean, he
Yeah.
literally almost lost his life. He went to jail, which you find out later. But
Mm-hmm.
spoiler alert, early.
Yeah.
That I mean, he pretty much ruined his young life
Yeah.
for Gary. And then we
Look
get
at that blip in the audio.
Yeah. So we get to the bathroom, and Gary's in the bathroom, and he's trying to take a piss, and he slips in the piss and gets mad and goes to punch a wall. Well, at the beginning, that you see him get drunk in this bar and punch the wall, and there's like a hole, not really a
Yeah.
hole, but like a shatter mark to where his
In
fist
the
connected.
bathroom tile.
Yeah, to where his fist connected. And then this weird kid that they had been watching play pool with his friends in the same bar
Mm-hmm.
walks in, and he's trying to make conversation.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, nowadays, it's kind of weird that you make conversation with someone in a bathroom.
It's if you're a guy, it's always been weird. And at the urinal, unless it's your friend that you came with,
Right,
you don't talk.
right.
That's one of the rules. The other one is make sure that there is a urinal in between you and the other guy.
You know, I've always wondered that,
'Cause-
though.
If you don't, it's gay.
But what if you have to piss and there's 4 urinals?
You wait.
So if there's 4 and you're at 2 and 4,
Or you go into a stall.
but what if there's no stall available?
You wait.
You wait?
You wait.
You don't take 3 or...
Nope.
Really?
The gap rule.
Okay.
Nope. You wait.
Ah,
You don't want because you don't want to run the risk of another guy looking over at your dick.
gotcha. But in this instance, the kid doesn't look at Gary's dick. He's
Right.
just like, let me piss and I'm going to get out of here. But Gary is just like pushing,
Mm-hmm.
like, hey, talk to me, talk to me, talk to me, talk to me,
Well-
talk to me, talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. talk to
He
me,
Leslie
talk to
noped him.
me. He did talk to me, 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 talk to me.
He Leslie noped him. He all but put sticky notes all over his body.
Yes, exactly.
That
and
kid
so
was
the-
having none.
And
of
then
it.
he was like, what are you going to do about it? And flipped his hat off and like pushed him. And he was like, don't do that.
He even went as far as to invite him to tag along.
Yeah, he was like, do you want to? Well, the only reason why that he invited the kid to tag along is because he knew his friends were about to bounce and he was going to be by himself.
Right.
That's the only reason why that he did. He was like, hey, we set the way for you. We paved the way for you.
Yeah.
You should be so grateful to hang out with me and let me
Right.
hang out with you.
His head is so fucking big.
It's shoved so far up his own
It
ass.
really is. It really is.
He is high as fuck from those methane fumes.
God.
Yeah. So I just want to say that the fight scene to open this is
Yeah, here we fucking go.
the fucking legit. Like the choreography, the fight choreography in this.
How it's like 5 and 5.
Well, not only 5 and 5,
Or
but
the first fight with
right,
just Gary and
just
the kid.
Gary and the kid.
Yeah.
You can see the drunken Gary, where the kid is more like. I mean, you could totally tell it's robotic.
Right.
It was very, very well done.
Yeah.
And you could see Gary's like drunken swings and him just moving very fluidly because he's drunk.
Mhm.
Then you got the robot kid who's like on point with his punches and very like not sharp, not hard, but like very what's the word I'm
They're
looking for?
precise.
Not precise, but he's like he knows where he's going to punch. He
Yeah.
knows where he's going to
He
hit.
he can like
And it's
pinpoint,
just like a straight
anticipate.
punch.
He anticipates Gary's moves.
But he's not like just long arms swinging as a
Right.
right hook. Just he's just boom, boom, boom to where Gary was like, boom.
His punches are almost mechanical.
Which is fucking brilliant. Like
yeah.
and then when Gary fucking you don't understand what's going on until Gary like what did you say? He
Oh, okay. this is Brucey's time to shine. Gary hits him with a pitch perfect and thank you Edgar for making this be in slow mo. A grand slam of a rock bottom
Yep.
into a urinal.
Yep.
He rock bottoms this kid into the urinal and his head just pops right off.
Oh yeah.
And that's when Gary figures
He
out,
doesn't-
oh shit.
He was like, I just
Yeah.
threw you into a urinal and there's blue shit squirting and your head just rolls.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, the rest of the guys bust in because they found out that he lied that his mom died.
Yeah.
And I just talked to her, but not from the afterlife.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was trying to explain to them, like, I just knocked this kid's fucking head off and it's blue and there's stuff and he was like, don't try and change the conversation. And then the kid just so goddamn fluidly, like he just like the way the kid, I know his head was like green screened, but he didn't use his arms and got up.
Yeah.
Like that weird bendy
Mhm.
movement. Holy shit.
Yeah. Well, that was one thing that you had mentioned is the way
Uh-huh.
the kid, when after they kick his head in between his own
The
legs.
kid gets up so fucking smooth. That's what I wrote.
Yeah.
Like so awesome. And then he stands up and like his buddies walk into the bathroom and they march in there left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, like so
Yeah.
like
Soldier
very-
type.
Yes, exactly. And then they turn and the kid gets off the ground and turns, but he doesn't have a fucking head. And then all fucking hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
That was a brilliant fight.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
It was a great fight.
It was an all-out brawl in that bathroom.
And Peter hiding in the stall
Oh yeah.
because he doesn't know how to fight or he's
No,
scared.
Yeah. And then when Oman and the other kid fell through the door, and he was like, "Somebody's in here!" Like he was screaming, like he was bending over the toilet and like crying. He was like, "Somebody's in here!" And then at the end, Oman goes, "WTF, Gary? WTF?" And Gary goes, "What the fuck does WTF mean?" And Pete comes out of the stall.
What the fuck?
Oh, and he like gets it
I was
finally
like, oh, okay.
over halfway through the episode
Yeah.
or episode
The movie.
movie.
Oh, we're about there.
I mean, like I said, the fucking fight choreography is amazing.
I love
the
it.
way the guys are fighting, like they are in a bar fight, but the boys are fighting like robots. Like the guys, our main guys, Pete, Steve, Gary, Andy, like how Oman, like how they are fighting And they're drunk
Yeah.
minus Andy at this point. He's sober as shit because he's drank nothing but tap water.
You mean Rain?
Rain.
Fucking Rain.
Fucking rain.
King Arthur
The way
would be
he
so
says
disappointed.
Exactly. But no, like, everybody's pretty toasted, or at least slightly toasted. But they were literally fighting for their lives in a bar fight
Yeah.
where the kids were just like, God,
Mm-hmm.
I cannot, like, that is probably my favorite part of this movie
Is it?
is the bar fights.
Yeah. Oh, the fights. Yeah.
The fights.
Well, and you remember at the end of it, when they all get back to the table,
Uh-huh.
Andy starts slamming the whole
that's-
tray
that's
of
on here
shots.
too.
Yeah.
That's on here too. I said the noises that Andy makes when he takes the shots is so fucking gross.
Drink up. Let's boo boo.
Ew. He's trying to catch up, and Jesus, he catches up so quick.
Yeah.
I
he
mean,
really does.
5 shots
Mm-hmm.
compared to technically 3 of them had 3 beers.
Yeah.
Gary had 4 because he did drink those beers outside of the 3rd bar.
Yeah. He drank by himself there.
Right. So he has 4 beers in,
Yeah.
and the others have 3, and Andy now has 5 shots.
Mm-hmm.
Gross. His.
Oh, that noise.
Ugh. I hate that noise.
It's-
That's so gross.
ASMR shot taking.
That almost reminds me of when a dog is licking themselves.
Oh, in the middle of the night, you hear
Uh-huh.
that.
That's
That
so
is a
gross.
that is a cringy sound. I think that
It's-
Andy makes when he's taking those shots.
It is. It is. But he caught up.
He did.
He caught up.
He catches up pretty quick.
He does. The next bar that they go to, the bartender was like, "Welcome, my gents."
Yeah.
And he, like, at the beginning bar, the first one, Gary King shows up and he's like, "We're here for refreshments." And he's talking about the beers. He's talking about them coming back. And the bartender was like, "What?
Mm-hmm.
Like, who are you? I don't know." But then the 5th bar they go to, he's like, "Welcome, my gents." And, like, saying the exact same thing Gary said.
Yeah.
So we're getting a little bit deeper into robot territory.
And that is where we get into
Oh.
the. Okay.
Is this the one with Sam? Sam and the twins, or is Sam and the
Let's
twins
talk
at the other
about.
bar?
Yes. Okay. Well,
Is
that's
that
where
bar 4?
that's where we get into Act 3, the third and final act, where all the shit hits the fan. So the final pubs. The group continues to pub crawl, fighting off the blanks and uncovering more about the network. Gary discovers the truth about his past and his friends' lives since leaving high school.
Act, though.
It's Act 3.
Mm.
Uh,
So it's bar.
the group
4.
faces off against the network's leader, the Reverend, played by Bill Nye. The group reflects on their journey. Gary finds redemption and closure, and a heartwarming montage showcasing the friends' new beginnings and Gary's newfound purpose. So,
Well, this one,
Sam and the twins.
that is bar 5.
Yes.
This is when they're talking about.
It's right before the mermaid.
Okay. So this bar in bar 5, they're talking about whatting
Let's go back to that last bar real quick,
bar 4.
where we are introduced to 2 blondes and a redhead in the middle.
Oh, the marmalade sandwich.
The marmalade sandwich.
The marmalade sandwich.
Yeah.
What was it? I know Becky was the redhead.
Yes.
I don't remember the other two's names.
The curly haired and the short haired.
The curly hair and the
Semi-short,
straight hair.
medium
Yeah.
haired. Yeah.
But
Which we see at the mermaid.
we do see at the mermaid. Well, we also see at that bar too, because they were talking about them
Mm-hmm.
when they were sitting across from them.
Yes.
And, Oliver, Oman, pointed it out.
Why don't you ask them? They're right over there.
Yeah.
What? And they all got excited
Mm-hmm.
because back in high school, those were like the hot chicks.
Oh yeah.
They were the hot
Popular
girls.
ones, yeah.
Yeah.
One of my favorite lines in bar 4 before we get to 5 is, "We've got blood on our hands.
It's more like ink.
We've got ink on our hands." I use that a lot when I have something on my hands to you.
Yep.
I'm like,
Yep.
I've got this on my hands.
It's more like ink.
I've got ink on my hands.
We
That one
use
is
that
a
line a
lot.
fucking lot.
A lot.
That is
And
like,
and they're starting to talk about the robots, but they
Yeah.
don't want to use the name robot.
what was it? They came up with all these names, but
One of the
Andy says,
goes,
we've been
"The
talking
best-
about this for 3 minutes and still
for-
nothing's
No,
better.
he said we've been talking about this for 20 minutes, and the best name that we've come up with is Blanky Blanky Eggman.
Yeah, Blanky Blanky Eggman. Yeah, he's really like married to this title for
Yep.
these.
Well,
for the
I mean,
people.
they've come up with what was it? The Blue Bloods, the Blood Blues, the
All sorts of
different names, which was great.
bizarre names.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And then when Gary King stands up in bar 5 and he
Mhm.
goes, "He's a blank, she's a blank, this is a blank," and
Yeah.
that's when you realize that blank is now the name.
yeah,
Sam shows up with the twins, which we come to find out that Gary had had sex with, and he's very proud of
yeah,
when he talks to Sam and the disableds.
yeah.
And she slaps him again for the
Mhm.
second time. And then she goes outside with the twins, and he has a bad feeling, so he follows them out. And here's another good fucking fight scene.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
I love this one. The out on the back patio.
My favorite of that whole fucking scene is when the twins are completely like all of their limbs are torn off,
Yeah,
and the one twin comes back with the legs of her sister
she kind
on
of
her arm.
Frankenstein's herself.
She does.
Yeah,
It's creepy as shit. To
it really
watch that.
is.
And then Steve comes out and like tackles her because she's trying to hurt Sam.
Mm-hmm.
And then Gary, with a beer in his hand, goes, "Rip her head off!"
Yeah,
Yeah! Then he gets excited when he does it.
I like the one of the parts where after the fight, Sam wakes up because she got knocked unconscious
Right.
when one of the twins slammed her head on the table. And Gary goes to stick his hand out, and she thinks that he's going to help
trying
her
to
up.
her up.
And he goes, "Check us a ciggy." All he wants is a cigarette.
Yep.
So Marlboro Reds is the cigarette of choice in this film.
Which is also the choice in Shaun of the Dead.
Yes, Marlboro Reds.
And I don't think well, the Andy smoke, but I might have to go back and look at Hot Fuzz again to see the cigarettes they smoke.
Yeah.
But I do know it had a red on Shaun of the Dead. It had a red.
Well, you can see like the red, like
Label.
where it triangles.
It didn't triangle in Shaun that I remember.
It didn't.
Not.
We'll
that
have
I
to go back and
remember.
check it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I know. I mean, in World's End, you can
Right.
you can just look at the pack, even though when Gary's holding the pack of cigarettes in his hand before he sticks it in his pocket,
Yeah.
you can tell. You see, I mean, it's Marlboro Red. You can just look at the pack and tell what it is,
Oh yeah.
even when the name is covered up. I guess for whatever copyright reason or whatever. But yeah, it's so obvious that that's Marlboro Reds that they smoke in this movie.
Oh yeah.
It's clear as day.
So, oh my god, I forgot one of my favorite lines when they were heading to bar number 3 before they got kicked out.
Mm-hmm.
He says, "To the cock,"
Yeah.
and he jumps over the fucking shrubbery and eats shit. He eats fucking shit, and that is
does.
amazing. So in Shaun of the Dead, he jumps over the fences. He jumps over one fence,
Mm-hmm.
and then in Hot Fuzz, he jumps over 3 fences, and the last fence, he does like a somersault
Yeah.
and lands it. And then in World's End, he tries to jump over the shrubbery and falls and eats shit. And then he finally, later on in the movie, he tries to jump another fence, but he totally Danny's it from Hot Fuzz
Yeah.
to where the whole fucking fence just
Yes.
falls. That's hilarious to me.
And I love that. That's like a classic, like Cornetto, like
Nod.
staple. Yeah.
Yeah. So the I know, was it the Good Companions that they were at when they met Reverend Green in the Good Companion.
Yes.
Put a cork in it, Trevor.
Put a cork in it, Trevor. You said
Yeah.
too much, Trevor. Yeah, put a cork in it, Trevor.
What was the two-headed dog? Which one was that one?
There's not a lot of
That's the one where they were talking about the blanks, and that's where
it was.
where Oman went to the bathroom and came back out a different person.
Yeah, he came back as a blank.
But you don't actually find that out until they get to the mermaid. And then when they get to the mermaid, which is
The famous cock is the third bar.
I know. That's the one that he got kicked out of. He didn't get to.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I just realized it. I just realized this.
The cross hands is the bar where they get into the bathroom fight.
Yes. I just realized this. So what was the name of the third bar?
The third bar?
Uh-huh.
The famous cock. Or the famous cock.
Okay. What's Gary?
Cock. He's a cock.
But he also thinks he's famous.
Yes.
He got kicked out of his own bar.
Mm-hmm. And then
That was fucking great.
and then the cross hands fighting
right.
are 4.
Yep. The Good Companions is where they're all talking about what they're going to do next
Yep.
as friends.
Mm-hmm.
When you get to the mermaid, that's where you find out the shit goes down. Like how this is happening. And you meet Basil! I mean, you see Basil.
In the coat room.
You do. But you see Basil at bar 2.
He's at the Old Familiar, yeah.
And like
his
they're like,
crazy
oh,
straw.
there's Basil with the crazy straw. And then you really find out about Basil. But bar number 7, the two-headed dog, was the one where you met Reverend Green.
Yes.
Where he knocked.
And possibly buy some drugs.
And possibly buy some drugs. He's like, you're just trying to buy some drugs. He's like, no, I'm trying to find out more information.
Yeah.
And possibly buy some drugs.
Uh-huh.
So, that's put a cork in it, Trevor. You've said too much, Trevor.
I say that one a lot.
I know you do.
Myself. I put a
Whenever you
cork in
get
it,
so
Trevor.
mad at people and they're talking too much, you're like, put a cork in it, Trevor.
Put a cork in it,
If I
Trevor.
hear you say that, I'm going to say, you talk too much, Trevor.
Put a cork in it, Trevor.
And then you get to, of course, the mermaid, which the mermaid,
The mermaid turned out to be a fucking nightclub.
it was a high schooler's nightclub.
Well, it was school themed.
Yeah, I mean, I think the name itself,
What, the mermaid?
yeah, I mean, there was flashy lights. It was good music.
I didn't see the theme of mermaid though.
It was shiny. It was,
Are mermaids shiny?
their tails are.
Are they?
They're scales
True.
in the sun.
Yeah.
It was bright colored. It was a vibe.
Right.
It's the only one that actually had a theme that wasn't a pub.
Well, the Beehive. The next bar after that.
The Beehive only had honey-colored walls. There
Oh.
really wasn't anything else.
It was yellow. The yellow walls.
That's what I
The,
just
the
said.
w- the windows were honeycomb shaped, and so was the carpeting.
Okay, so that's where you go to chill out.
That's pretty beehive like. It's honeycomb everything.
Okay, so the Mermaid
Yeah.
is a good place to go to get your drink on, your
Yeah.
jam, your dance.
I don't know. I guess when I think of a bar called the Mermaid, I
Mhm.
feel I get more of like a like it's a beach, like a tiki bar kind of a place.
Nah.
Because mermaids,
Well,
the
yeah,
ocean.
but no, I could see like intense music, high volume, like energy, like the scales of a
Yeah.
shiny
I know.
lights, colorful. It's very colorful.
I think it was either Gary or Peter that had like mentioned that. I don't remember the Mermaid being anything like this before.
Right.
It was Peter, but then Gary said that I like it better this way.
And this is where you find out from Basil, who pulls
Yeah.
Steven in. He's like, they can take your
Your DNA.
DNA
Mhm.
from kissing the
The
rim
sa-
of a glass, the saliva on the rim of a glass,
and your sweat.
and yeah, your sweat. And as you're watching this unfold, the marmalade sandwich was there, and
Yeah.
Andy, Pete, and Gary were all like kissing and touching and drinking beers with the marmalade sandwich.
Yeah.
Which, mind you, these girls are 17, 18 years old, and they're almost
No.
40.
Yeah, well, now, yeah.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is that they're 17, 18 years old in high school, where they left them in high school,
Yeah.
and they're pushing 40.
Yeah.
And then the real, like, shock moment of this is fucking bullshit is when Oliver, I tried to say Oman and Oliver at the same time. He was like, here's the guy that you had a crush on in high school. And she's like, he died a year after high school.
Yeah, the guy that Sam liked.
Yeah, a lot
Yeah.
in high school. And she was like, fuck this shit. We're getting out of here.
He had, what was it? He died in like a motorcycle.
Car crash. Yep.
Was it car crash or a motorcycle?
They said a motor accident.
Okay.
They didn't say motorcycle. They said
Okay.
motor accident.
Okay. I
Which
gotcha.
cars are motor cars over there.
Yes.
Not cars. But and so they all they're like grabbing each other. They're like, stop, and like Steve comes out and takes them outside. And Gary, I like the fact that Gary was like he was like, oh, this is Oliver. Oh man, like I've never seen you like this before. Everybody pauses, and he's like, you never made it this far on the first round.
Yeah.
They kind of called him out. Like that should have been a realization. Like he's not the same person.
Yeah. And I love Basil's. Basil pretty much has the whole fucking network figured out.
Oh yeah, which is why he drinks from a crazy straw.
Not so crazy now, is it?
So crazy now.
I told you not to ask me that.
I told you not to ask me that. So we get to bar number 9, which is the fucking
Beehive.
beehive. God damn it, this fucking.
This is the fight scene.
Oh my god, the fight scene in this is so amazing. Like, they come in and they talk to Pierce Brosnan, their
Mr. Shepard.
yes, their guidance counselor, their
Yes.
teacher, like the person that they talk to about their problems.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, hey, guys, we're just going to chill here, have a beer,
Yeah.
and just vibe and just hang out. And they're like, fuck this shit. And I like the way that Oman
Well, they
said
do. They sit at the table with him.
They
and
do, but
speak.
Oman said something that triggered Andy
Oh, did he?
to pick up the bar stool and smash him across the head. And that's when you realize that he's a blank.
I fucking hate this fucking town.
And then I like the callback from the beginning of the
Yeah.
movie to where Andy like ripped his shirt and was like, "Ma!"
yeah.
And then in this one, he rips his shirt, but not open, but just his vest.
Yeah, his sweater vest.
I fucking hate this town.
Uses
and like,
the stools as boxing gloves.
oh my god, I counted at least 12 within the first 30 seconds of that fight.
That he punched in the face.
Yep. Actually, it would probably be more like 10 because he punched 2. Like literally, he went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then he turned back around and hit 2 again.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went 6, 7, 8, 9, and then turned around and punched 7 again.
Question.
Uh-huh.
What is a robot?
What is a robot?
Gary, yes. It's a slave.
It's a slave. Good job, Gary. Good
And he's
job.
chewing his gum. And
Yep.
I like how when he gives the answer, he looks at everyone else around the table like,
Did I do a good job?
I got that
Did I do a
right.
good job?
I knew the answer to that. I'm smart. Yes, it's
So-
a slave.
After this huge bar fight, they're like, we're going to split up and we're going to meet up in the green, which was the safe house in the golf
Yeah.
course where they went to smoke pot before.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably one of my favorite scenes in the
hold on.
entire fucking shit.
When, let's backtrack to the beehive, the end of that fight.
Mm-hmm.
When Gary and Sam are on the roof of the bar,
Of the
and
bar.
Sam goes, "That's my car right there. Let's take the drain pipe down." And Gary,
He says, we don't need to take the drain pipe.
and he just jumps off and slips and hits the roof of the car.
And then he looks up and goes, take the drain pipe. He's so dumb.
He tried to be like super cool and impress her.
He jumped down like you would expect like Blade to jump.
Yeah, like a superhero landing.
Yep. And he failed.
As soon as his feet hit the roof of that car,
He
they
slipped and just done. He was done.
take
Yep.
the drain pipe.
Yep. And then there was a sentimental moment between them where she was like, Gary, there's nothing between us.
Yeah.
And he was like, he had to let her go at that point.
And you see that that acceptance of
Yeah.
it in his
Yeah.
eyes.
He
and,
had to accept
like,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
you're
this is
right.
it. This is it.
Fuck my friend Steven. He's better for you.
He didn't say that.
He
No,
He's
he
all
didn't know it.
black.
No, he didn't. He didn't. Because he's still blind to the fact that Steven likes Sam because he's
Yeah.
still so hard up for Sam.
well he,
He doesn't
realizes
give a fucking shit what Steven thinks.
well he realizes that she's not into me.
Well, at that point, he didn't care. He just said, you
Yeah.
need to live.
Yeah. He just wanted her to be safe.
Right.
And that
Which
was it.
that was an adult move for him.
It was it, and you see his you really saw his character grow and develop in that moment. I think.
Within that whole 2-minute scene. Yeah. But then he turns back to a child.
Mm-hmm.
He gets to the green. And they're talking about,
He
the
does.
blanks, how they recreate your DNA. But it was like if you were born a baby.
Mm-hmm.
And Andy says, a newborn baby. And then Pete says,
a maybe.
a maybe. A man baby
Man
is what
baby.
Andy says. And then Pete says, a maybe.
Fucking
Oh my
Pete.
God.
Pete in this scene is.
Oh my God. He is like, God, he's so great. He's so great in this. And then, they were discussing of we got into a fight and you sat on a bottle that nearly went up your ass.
Yeah.
Show us the scar. And Steve pulls his pants down and he's got this scar on his butt cheek.
Very
He's
nice.
like, very nice.
He compliments his friend's
He
ass.
does. And then he goes to Pete and he's like, all right, so well, the funny thing is though, is that Gary was like, I had this fight that you fell on because of me and the bottle nearly went up your ass because of me.
Yeah.
Then he looks at Pete and goes, because of me, we flipped a 4-wheeler and you hurt your leg. And he pulls up the left leg and he goes, oh,
Oh.
no. And
When he ran over it.
when he ran over it and everybody's like, what the fuck? And he goes, oh, wrong leg. And then pulls up the other one.
And you see the tread marks across his shin.
The scar on his leg. He's
Yeah.
like, okay, you're cool. And then he looks at Andy and he's like, okay, so because of this and me, because of me, this is what happened to you. And he's like, well, what about you? And he's deferring the situation. So he's like, what do we know if you're not a blank?
Yeah.
And so they go through this whole dialogue together, which is almost a minute, maybe 2 minutes long. So then he finally flips him off and he's like, okay, cool, that's your
Yeah.
scar. So Gary King pulls up his shirt and he has a tattoo and he's like, oh, that could be drawn on. And Pete's like, huh, all tattoos are drawn on. Fucking Pete. He goes, well, that's not it. He said, if I'm
Show
not
us
the
your arm.
Yep. And then he goes, if my name, or if I'm not Gary King, then what's scratched up there on the beam? It should say Gary King.
Is King gay?
And and Andy goes, no, it's not. It doesn't say that. And he goes, well, what does it say? He goes, it says King Gay.
Some cunt scratch the aura.
And Steve goes, that was me.
I love that.
And my favorite is Peter going, King Gay.
He's giggling. King gay.
King Gay. Like that.
It's a child.
It's a
He
child.
is. Because he's gay. That's funny.
King Gay.
He's gay.
So then they disband because
Oh, shit.
Gary's like, oh, if they're all here, the next bar's not going to be covered with blanks, so I'm just going to run.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Then they get to the forest and he's
And-
still giggling, going, King Gay.
He falls, and what's funny about that is you can see him in the background,
Oh, yeah.
in frame. He's blurred out, but you can still see him smiling and
Oh,
laughing and running.
But then they stop on him when he stops at the tree to breathe,
Yeah.
and he goes,
King Gay.
King Gay.
King gay.
I mean, I would too. If I had a friend who had a funny name like that,
Yeah. Well,
I'd
that's.
totally make fun of him.
I'm not gonna say that on the episode.
Yeah, no, we're good.
What I
So-
was called.
Right. And so, we get to the 10th pub. They knock Gary out. They carry him to the next one. They're like, oh, God, we go to this next one. And there's actually a fun little, what do we call it? Easter egg.
Yes.
You have to listen for it. So in the 10th,
You do see it.
you see it and hear it.
Yeah.
when you get to the 10th pub. And so Gary's knocked the fuck out. They're trying to get past the robots. He wakes up and he's like pouring a beer, and they're like, "What the fuck, Gary?" And then you hear do, which is the video game noise from Shaun of the Dead,
Yep.
even in Hot Fuzz, and now it's in the World's End.
Yep.
Beautiful fucking like full circle. God damn it.
Huh?
And then they run to the next pub, which is Pub 11.
Yep.
Well, in Pub 10, Gary gives Steve the keys, and he's like, "Get out of here."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Andy, you too." Well, Andy said, "Fuck you. I'm going to stick with you." They go to 11. He's trying to get a beer. Then there's another fight between Andy and the robots,
Mm-hmm.
or the blanks,
Yeah.
the smashy Eggmen. And then we get to the final pub,
The World's End.
the World's End, and he's just like, "Please let me have a drink. Let me just finish." So then you get like the whole backstory of what's going on. He pulls a lever, tries to fill the beer, and they go,
Hold on, real quick.
"Uh-huh."
I want to just comment on the fact that as soon as Gary opens the doors to the World's End,
Yep.
there is this beautiful, beautiful looking golden beer just sitting there waiting to be drank.
Yep.
That is a good looking beer. It is
Oh, yeah.
so bright and full
Golden,
of color.
and
Yeah.
it looks delicious.
God, I want to. I want to take a sip of it just to
Mhm.
try that beer.
Oh,
It
yeah.
looks so good.
Yeah, it does.
It's like it's lit up with light. And
I want to know, is it
what kind of beer is
is it no, is it cold, because those glasses weren't frosty.
The glasses aren't
There
frosty.
were
but
no condensation on those glasses either.
You could still see a little bit of the foam like
Yeah,
bubbling
but it
up.
doesn't matter. There's
the
foam
beer.
when the beer's hot too.
Not always.
Yes, always.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. It's more
And it-
prominent.
And in a stout, yes.
Okay.
But I don't know. It just because I don't know.
This is an ale we're talking about, probably a light lager, but yes, it's not cold. It could be, room temperature or a little chilled.
Yeah. But we don't
there
know
was
for
no-
sure.
There was no condensation on the glass. There was nothing cold. So, but I would still want to try it,
Yeah, absolutely.
as long as it's not Foster's.
No.
Ew.
Foster
Ew.
sucks.
Pew. Anyway, so once we get into the lair, you hear a voice, a
Mm-hmm.
very familiar voice. Gary Kane.
Bill Nye.
Love the fact that Bill Nye has been in every single fucking
Yeah.
Cornetto
Mhm.
Trilogy movie that has, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So we just want to be free.
Mm-hmm.
Do what we want. What was it, the oh shit. He also calls out the Nutball and the Shifty Twins.
Yeah.
He's like, "All right, who's human here?" at the end of it.
Yeah.
And like the three humans, well, you had Basil,
Yeah.
where the two guys came out and they're like, "We're human. I'm human. I'm human." And then Basil comes up, "I'm human." Basil! And he's like, "The Nutball and the Shifty Twins." One of my favorite lines is Andy sticking up for him, even though he has been fighting him in this last 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "You're a piece of shit. You need to get your fucking life together, you piece of shit."
Yeah.
But he's like, "He's a cook, but he's my cook."
Mm-hmm.
Like, that proves that friendships can take a turn as long as someone is still there. Like, even if both of you can't be there, one of you needs to be there for the other.
Oh, absolutely.
After what Gary did to Andy, I mean, you find out that, I mean, in the greenhouse previously, well, 2 pubs previous to this, he said that, when I picked you up because you OD'd and I drove 4 times over the legal limit to get you to the hospital, flipped the car, severed my femoral artery, and you miraculously got up and walked away, and I spent weeks in the hospital and then got arrested,
Yeah.
and you're still showing up
Mm-hmm.
for him. At that point, I wouldn't. I'd say go fuck yourself. Like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Me personally.
I think so. Yeah.
So then we get to the end of the movie, and it's literally like banter back and forth where the robot is trying to prove through science, and Gary King and Andy Knightley, and then all of a sudden Steve drops in, even though you think he's dead, but Steven drops in, and
Yeah.
they're like, Steven! And they're fighting against him. They're like, we're just trying to be human.
Mm-hmm.
Human is to err, and
To err is
to
human.
err is,
To err is human.
well, no.
No,
Gary-
I was being Andy in that scene.
No, that's Gary. Gary said err is to human, and he says it wrong.
Yeah, and then Andy like over his shoulder.
Andy doesn't say
To
anything.
err is human. Yeah, he pulls one over his shoulder.
He didn't, that I noticed. He didn't.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, like, they're trying to, like, humanity is winning at that point,
Mm-hmm.
and the Bill Nye just
Yeah.
pretty much is like, you know what? Fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done.
Yeah.
What did he say? Go back to your.
Why don't you fuck off back to Legoland?
Yes, he's.
Tell him to go to Legoland.
Yep. Why don't you just go back to fucking Legoland, you cunt?
Mm-hmm.
Ugh, God. Love it. And then, of course, World's End blows up, and then we end up in an apocalypse.
Yeah.
And the whole story was told from Andy's point of view,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, I haven't seen him since. And then the moment that every Cornetto Trilogy lover waited for.
Yeah.
A
You see
Cornetto
the-
to show up.
The green.
The green Cornetto. So bringing this into this one.
What's funny is when you see it like fly in front of Andy, he tries to lick.
No, he was like grabbing at
Yeah.
it. He was like so sad.
he
just trying
wanted
to
a
grab it.
Cornetto.
So bringing this around, Shaun of the Dead had red Cornetto papers.
Yeah, the green, the blue, and the red, the green, and the blue.
No, the red, blue, green.
Or red, blue, green.
Because
yeah.
Shaun of the Dead had red.
Yeah, Hot Fuzz
then
is blue.
Hot Fuzz is blue because
Yeah.
of police officers. So Shaun of the Dead was red because of zombies and blood.
Yeah.
Hot Fuzz was blue because of police officers, and World's End had green because, why not?
Mm-hmm.
Red, blue, green is most of your,
Yeah.
trilogy colors. And so, I mean, it ends with Gary King with the young versions
Yeah.
of his friends just trampling through the town,
Yep.
fighting the humans because
They call me the king.
I'm Gary King. Ugh, such a good movie.
It's awesome.
I mean, come on. If you haven't watched it and you've listened to this entire episode, boo on you. And if you've watched it and then listened to this episode, go watch it again because it's fucking worth it.
It's really good.
My favorite of the trilogy.
Yes.
It really is. I'm
Mine
literally
too.
laughing from the beginning until the end.
Well,
Did our poll end?
the poll ended a while ago with 19 votes.
Oh, that's kind of sad. We should have probably put it up on Facebook and Instagram too.
Yeah. Well, you can't do polls on Instagram unless
mean,
the
you
poll is a
could.
picture.
You could have done 3 separate ones and had people like it,
Yeah.
which their favorite was.
So, from 3 to 1, coming in at number 3 with
World's End.
with 26% of the votes is The World's End. Yep.
Unfortunately.
Well, hold on now. Coming in at with 32% of the votes at second place is Shaun of the Dead,
Oh, Hot Fuzz won.
and with 42% of the votes is Hot Fuzz as number 1.
Of course.
A lot of people do love Hot Fuzz. That
They
is a
do.
great movie.
It is a good one.
World's End is better.
Hot Fuzz
But-
and Shaun of the Dead are very close.
Yeah,
Like,
Hot
for
Fuzz
me.
is my third favorite of the trilogy. I
Mine
love
as
them
well.
all.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too. They are all very close.
Yeah.
But gun to my head, I had to choose. It'd be World's End, Shaun Dead, and Hot Fuzz.
Yeah, I think so. I think The World's End has like the funnier quotes.
Oh, it's funnier. It carries the funny through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
everything is a fucking joke.
Yeah.
To where Shaun of the Dead partial is funny, but there's also serious. To
Mhm.
where Hot Fuzz was more trying to be serious.
I think Shaun of the Dead tries to be a little bit on the dramatic side as well, because you got the
Yeah, but-
relationship between Sean and Liz,
Right, and then Sean and Ed,
and Sean and his
Pete, and
mom.
yeah,
and then David and Liz.
Yeah.
Everyone has like their own
Yeah.
separate relationships, and
but
Ed is kind of the comedy relief of
Right,
Shaun of the
right.
Dead. He's like the big.
and then I
joke.
also think that Hot Fuzz has a lot more of the dramatical. Same thing as Sean,
Yeah.
but he also, has to deal with everyday life. He's a police officer. It has
Mhm.
to be a certain way. It has to be done a certain way,
Yeah.
kind of thing, to where there can't be much funny. But when funny happens, though, in
Right.
Hot Fuzz, though,
It happens hard.
it happens hard.
I think Danny is kind of like the wrench being thrown into the wheel for
yeah,
for
absolutely,
Nicholas in
Yeah.
Hot Fuzz,
absolutely.
because he's trying to be so serious all the time, and
Oh yeah,
every time he tries to do something, Danny is like, "There's a joke behind this, and I'm gonna be the joke."
right. I'm the joke.
Yeah,
I
and
get it.
then they mesh and make
Right,
like
to where
the
Shaun of the
great.
Dead was everybody. Well, not
Yeah.
everybody, but certain ones were funny.
Right.
But in World's End, everybody had a funny.
Yeah.
Regardless of who you were, somebody had a funny.
Yeah. Well, towards from like the middle until the end, yeah, because at the beginning you got to think about Andy, who was completely unfunny
Well,
and
yeah, but Gary King made it funny.
right.
At least somebody had a funny.
I think Andy was like the Nicholas Angel of the
Right.
World's End,
Right.
or the David
Yes.
from Sean.
Yeah.
And he was
Yeah.
that guy.
Until the end, but he was good.
Once he started slamming those 5 shots, yeah. Oh, it was
No.
every man for himself.
Yeah.
For trying to out funny the other.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was awesome. But yeah, and that's the World's End. Thank you guys for making. Hopefully you enjoy this episode as much as you've enjoyed the other two. It's been awesome doing these.
It's been so fun.
This is a fantastic.
Revisiting.
Yeah, it really has.
And we
Ma-
get to do it better this
Yeah.
time.
And thank you to everyone who for Shaun of the Dead and World's End or Hot Fuzz, making them the top 2 of the whole month
of May, even though we're at the end.
Yeah,
Um,
it's been awesome.
thank you also for voting on the poll on X. If you
And happy Memorial
are
Day.
listening, happy Memorial Day, 3-day drinking weekend. Wow!
For those of you that are off today, for you.
Which, yes, 4-day weekend for me.
Yeah, for you.
I needed it
Yeah.
a lot, a lot.
You and everybody else at my work.
Okay,
No, a lot of people
yeah.
called in today.
But no, thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And
We'll see you. We're going to shit on Rings of Power next week.
oh my God, super excited about that. Oh my God, I'm going to wipe my ass with it.
If you
With
like
some-
Rings of Power, fuck you.
No, I mean, you have your own opinion, but
And it's wrong.
we're gonna bring it to you with 2 very, 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 very good friends of ours.
Yeah.
Like, we've known them for almost 20 years now, bub.
Don't call me Bub.
Like,
That's
I'm
weird.
still fucking shocked.
We've known them
I've
since
been in the haunt industry since 2009. I'm looking at year 17, 18.
Yeah.
How long have I been out? I was in 16 years. I've been out 3, so yeah, 19-ish.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, shit.
Yeah.
Long time.
Mhm.
Long time.
Mhm.
2010, 14, 15, 16 years.
When was the first time we went to Transworld?
Let's see, 9, 10, 10, 11, 11,
2011,
10, 10,
2010.
10.
So for 14 years.
But still, that's a long time, though.
Yeah.
T squared is back, baby. Let's fist some more model
Butts.
pictures.
Yes.
Model pictures, yeah.
Let's
There's
fist model in the butt.
model pictures.
Models in the butts.
Yeah, in the butts.
Cool. Tab, take us out of here.
As always, thank you for joining us for this episode. Don't forget to check out our link tree at linktr.ee/Gray's Taproom Podcast 2. There you will find many ways to support us. Subscribe to our Patreon. 4 tiers are now available. Take a shot for $1, acquire a buzz for $3, get tipsy for $5, and fully loaded for $10. Don't forget to check out our ad-free Taproom Radio for some tasty jams.
Don't text and drive, don't drink and drive, and always drink responsibly.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Thanks for hanging out, and get home safe.
Taproom closed.